at the pass-out parade there in Kiganjo. Now, hundreds of Nakuru County government casual workers who are laid off have accused the county government of subjecting them to financial trauma for failing to renew their contracts. The casual laborers have condemned the move after they received phone calls informing them not to report to work as their jobs were no longer feasible. Now, on that, I want us to just talk to Dalmas Sakali with those details. Dalmas, good morning. What is going on with that issue with the laborers in Nakuru County?
Now, good morning. Like you've rightly put it, I'm coming to you live from Nakuru County, and the number is 605. We're talking about 605 casual laborers who've been working under the county government of Nakuru, and to be specific, in the Department of Environment, who've been sacked as such or laid off after the end of their contract. And some of them are saying they've been working here since 2012, that is to mean around 10 or so years, and they are saying they deserve better. That yes, their contracts were done, but they feel they deserved better, and maybe a renewal or to be laid off in a better manner. Through John Dunda, who is the Deputy Secretary General of the Kenya County Government Workers Union, they are saying that the county government of Nakuru issued a notice to terminate the contracts in December 2022 to mark the end of their service to the county government. And of course, it is something politically speaking that was to be expected, of course, after a new governor and a new government came in. But just to shed some more light on that, allow me to talk to Kipkoech Ngetich, who is an advocate here in Nakuru County, just to tell us, legally speaking, Kipkoech, maybe we begin from that point. Is there a valid point for the casual laborers here in Nakuru County to complain after being laid off? Do you think they have a valid point, Wakili Kipkoech?
Thank you very much, Dalmas and KTN viewers. Under Article 41 of the Constitution of Kenya, every employee has a right to good remuneration and good working conditions. Section 7 and 9 of the Employment Act would require that the employer ensures that the employee who has a contract for more than 3 months who has a contract for more than 3 months is accorded a written contract which is signed and thumbprinted by the employee. The issue now is that as the county government of Nakuru respected the contract of service, that is very important. And if the contract of service has been respected by the employer, then there isn't much that you can pursue in law. But you must remember again that as a Kenyan, the county government of Nakuru is not just a government, it's also a parent of last resort. So that if you have had people who've worked for you for the last 10 years, and we're talking about casual laborers, we're talking about small people who are earning 10,000, 20,000, then if you have to remove them, though you've respected the contract of service, you need to give them notice in advance, because these are people who rely entirely. And I think it's very important for the county government of Nakuru to consider dignity, to consider the well-being, to consider the fact that these are people. These are not apparatus, these are not instruments. These are people who would require to get some small food. These are people who would require to get some small money for school fees, for water, for rent, and what have you.
Now, some of them are saying they've worked under the county government of Nakuru for 5-10 years. Will you say they are justified to say, come on, I deserve to be treated better?
Indeed, they have a legitimate expectation that because they have worked for 10 years, because they have worked for 9 years, they should be treated in a more dignified way, in a better way. But as I've already said, the county government of Nakuru is an employer, and what is required by the law is to observe Article 41 of the Constitution. It is required to also look into Section 9, which requires that everything is reduced into a contract of service, into a written agreement, which is signed by both parties. And once the county government of Nakuru has respected the contract of service, the law does not require it to do more. It's only supposed to respect the contract of service. But as I have said, these people who've been there would have, as a human being, would have, as a constituents of Nakuru, that legitimate expectation that they would be treated in some more humane, in some more dignified way.
Now, the last question, politically speaking, of course, we understand new governments come in with new staff and new employments and so on. So politically speaking, do you think Governor Susan Keik and the county government of Nakuru have a valid reason for, of course, laying them off and getting new staff on board?
Politically speaking, every governor comes with our people. Where possible in law, lives with our people. But then again, politically speaking also, these people are constituents of the county. These are children of the governor, and the governor needs to balance the interest of those who supported her, those who are closer to her, and also the fact that these are human beings who have children, who have families. These are people who pay rent. These are people who require water and some little money to enable them to move to the next day.
Now, Kipkoech Ngetich is an advocate of the High Court in Nakuru County, just shedding some light on that story. We're talking about 605 casual laborers here in Nakuru County who are complaining after being laid off after their service. Some who've been working under the county government of Nakuru, to be specific, the Department of Environment